is an honor to be on this desk every day. It really is. But what we've just witnessed is the problem with this show, where we create narratives that do not exist in reality. The implication, what you are implying, that the white voters that vote on NBA are racist, that they favor white people. You just said that. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. That is exactly what you implied, Kendrick Perkins. That is exactly what you implied. Secondly, hold on.
I did not call. I stated the facts. And you're not about to sit up.
We all know what you implied the other day. We all know what you implied just now. Hold on.
I stated it's the facts. It's the facts.
What's going on, everyone? Talks to Kenny here today. We commenting on Kendrick Perkins and JJ Redick. Sorry. So I know this video has been floating around for a couple of days. Pretty sure a lot of people gave their commentary on it, but I'm gonna give mine. Right? And I don't know what's going on. I just think today, like victimhood. I don't know what's going on this week. Victimhood is like an all-time high. Like, you got this dude, like this guy crying about MVPs. Another white MVP gonna make it 3 in a row. What's like? Bruh. I don't understand this stuff. But if white people, like, all I ask is you inverse it. Because me, I like consistency. Me, I grew up in an environment where I got the moral sense that we're all created equal. So if one person is capable of doing something, another person is capable of doing something, good or evil. And to have this double standard where just because of the color of your skin, you can get away with saying certain things while demonizing and condemning another for doing the exact same, like, it's like it doesn't make sense. It always messes with me. Like, that's one thing that bothers me is the inconsistencies, especially when you don't have valid proof that whatever you're accusing the other of exists. But I digress. Let's get into this video. It's from Liberal Hive Mind, and I think it was a good, he does a good job of informing people, and you guys you can go check him out. But hey, let's get into the video.
Massively viral. Watch former NBA player goes rogue on live TV and calls out anti-white racism.
And I know I just started the video, but the term anti-white racism, I think it shouldn't even exist. No. Hear me out. Don't go at me yet. Hear me out.
How dare you?
Because it's just racism, right? Like, remember, I'm against identity politics. Like, on principle, I don't believe in identity politics. So to do anti-white racism, and even in the definition of racism, it says, to discriminate or prejudice or hate of someone based on their based of being part of a racial group, typically black people. That's what the definition actually says. Or I don't know. This is my gripe with English sometimes, is that it's such a flexible language. It's such a loosely defined language that people can make definitions out of thin air. Bruh. Right? In Spanish, it's not like that. It's very structured, very gendered language. Right? You got hombre, niña. Right? You got words specific, very specific to what you're pointing out. But in English, you can call anything, bro. Like, bruh. And we wonder why we can't define what a woman is. But I digress. Let's get back.
All right, so first you need a little bit of context. Here's what Kendrick Perkins said.
Why didn't he never bring up this in particular subject? When it comes down to guys winning MVP since 1990, it's only 3 guys that won the MVP that wasn't top 10 in scoring. Do you know who those 3 guys were?
Who were they?
Steve Nash, Jokic, and Dirk Nowitzki. Now, what do those guys have in common? I'll let it sit there and marinate. You think about it.
Damn. See?
Bruh.
Now, let's flip it. Hey, I'm just saying. Look. I'm not here for the.
How dare you?
I don't care what y'all think. Oh, I don't care if you think black people can't be racist. Black people can be racist. I'm calling it down the middle. Racism is racism. Either you own it or you don't. I don't care. I don't care about, you have to be in a position of power, Cap. You don't need to be. Because if all I have to do is, okay, if white man not in a position of power, he can't influence, he can't do nothing to you. Can he not still be racist to you? I'll wait. He can. He can be racist to you at a personal level. So can black people be racist at a personal level? Yup. So you can be racist. So to try to use this idea like that like some qualifier, oh, I don't qualify to be racist. It's just subjective feelings at the end of the day. Because if you was in Africa, then that definition of racism will still apply if you were in Africa. But I digress. We're not in Africa. So let's flip it. Let's say JJ Redick was the one who brought up a stat saying, did you know only three white MVPs of recent memory or whatever ever won the MVP trophy?
Bruh.
Right? And in a future video I saw, I don't know if the liberal high man's going to cover it here because I'm reacting from it like blind. After 1990, you see how he focused. Like, this is what a lot of people do, right? And I'm probably guilty of this too, but I'm just calling it out just to make my point here. People focus on since 1990. If you go past 1990, because I remember Magic Johnson played in the 80s. He won MVP, and he was in the top 10 in scoring.
Bruh.
Right? And I think someone brought that up earlier when in some other videos when I was trying to get my information about this situation. So you cherry picking stats. You trying to make it seem like only white people get MVPs without having to be in the top 10 in scoring. But then Magic Johnson won MVP without being in the top 10 of scoring. So you cherry picking whatever. But at the end of the day, everyone do it to make a point. But I'm just saying, how's that racism? You trying to say, oh, they have a different criteria for white players than for black players. That's Kendrick Perkins' main point. I'm just saying, let's get back into the video.
Now, here's the thing.
Of course, we know the implication. They only won MVP because they're white. It's a real facepalm moment. And he's essentially implying that those three individuals didn't deserve to get MVP. His logic was they weren't top 10 in the league in scoring. Another facepalm moment. You know, scoring isn't the most important thing in basketball. There's a lot.
And I'm a basketball fan. So my point with MVP is this is my criteria. And this is the funny part about all this stuff. Everything's subjective based. There's no really objectivity to naming someone MVP or an all-star. Everyone got their reasons for why one player should be an all-star, one player shouldn't be an all-star, while one player should win MVP and one player shouldn't win MVP. When Russell Westbrook was going out here, he won his his back-to-back MVPs with averaging a triple-double.
Bruh.
In my mind, he shouldn't have won MVP because he wasn't on a top 4 team. To me, MVP should always come from any of the teams that's in the top 4 of either conference, right? So that's 8 teams that a possible MVP can come from. That's just my criteria because you winning and then your stats play a part into that because it's actually functional stats. It's actually efficient stats that's helping your team win, right? And this is why I'm just going from memory. JJ Redick was bringing up, all players stat pad. Everyone does that. Remember everyone was calling Russell Westbrook a stat padder?
Bruh.
Now look at him in the Clippers, barely doing anything. I'm just saying. You gave him MVP, and he wasn't maybe when he won MVP, his team was maybe 4th or 5th. I don't remember, but I know he got out in the first round. But he's MVP. At least when Derrick Rose was MVP and he was going against LeBron James, it was fair because the Bulls was top 4. That's what I was saying, right? But everyone has their criteria. And in this subjective criteria, if more people tend to favor one player than another, that's their right. Like, come on. To try to point out racial disparities and try to use that as a fact of racism existing is a fallacy. Because, I don't know if y'all seen the NBA. The NBA is almost 80% black. Bruh. That's not very representative of the American population. Most of the people that go into those arenas are white and Hispanic. Like non-black people are the majority in the arena. The players are not representative of what the people are in the arena. But we don't say, oh, systematic racism is in the NBA. We don't say that.
Nope.
So to use racial disparities as trying to prove systematic racism exists is lacking. It's not very convincing to me. But I digress. Let's get back into the video.
A lot of guys who've had incredible scoring seasons like Russell Westbrook and James Harden, for instance, but those are also two players that if I was voting would never even make it close to the MVP conversation.
I agree.
Regardless of how many points they scored or how many triple doubles Russell Westbrook.
To me, I always saw the MVP as like an all around like if you put this player, whoever wins MVP, you're essentially saying that I could put this player on any team and it will be a winning team. That's how I view the MVP, right? But if you put Westbrook on any team, they're not winning. He already failed going to 3 different teams. The most successful Westbrook has ever been in his career was when he was with Kevin Durant. I'm just saying.
Achieved in a single season, because there's more to analyzing the game than just looking at how many points they scored. Russell Westbrook, for instance, hogging most possessions. Same thing with James Harden and playing a total ISO game. Not to mention a lack of efficiency in terms of scoring. And in James Harden's case, not playing defense.
All them facts.
Bruh.
I always told my brother this. Like, me and my brother were big basketball nuts, so we argue about this stuff all the time. That's probably why I talk so well, because I'm sitting here debating sports with this guy. You see how little things can give you an advantage and a disadvantage? Russell Westbrook and James Harden, I say for a large percentage of every possession per game, they have a large share of the possession. That means they always have the ball. So you can make an argument against, like, let's say you're trying to vote who's going to win MVP. Kevin Durant or Russell Westbrook. You're going to look at Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook and say Kevin Durant scores more points with less percentages of the possession than this guy. This guy has the ball 44% of the time. Kevin Durant only has the ball 25% of the time. That means he can catch and shoot. This guy can't catch and shoot. So if I put Kevin Durant on 32 teams, he's going to average more wins than Russell Westbrook being on 32 teams. Am I lying?
Nope.
That to me, that's how you determine MVP. But if you're just going to use one metric to judge who should be MVP based on scoring, that's just like, imagine all the point guards. Like, come on. If you're a point guard, in my view, assist matters more to you than points. Now, if you have both, that's a strong argument for you. Like, if you have a Stephen Curry, no one's arguing if he should have won MVP. Now he does it because he's the closest thing to Steve Nash in the NBA. But you have a problem with Steve Nash winning the MVP? I'm just saying. To me, Kendrick Perkins just likes scorers. That's your personal subjective view, Kendrick Perkins. But end of the day, majority vote says this guy should be an MVP. You may not agree with it. A lot of people don't like a lot of things that's agreed upon, right? Like people's presidents, people's governors. But end of the day, people accept the results. And to try to say, oh, majority of this country is white, this is why this candidate win, is not a valid argument, right? Like if I'm saying, majority of white people voted for Joe Biden, what did that tell you? I'm just going to leave it out there. People going to imply that I'm saying Joe Biden is racist.
Bruh.
I use the same argument with the same statistical facts that he was pointing out about being the MVP voters being majority white, right? But for some reason, one argument is valid and one is not. Based on what? Your subjective view. Based on what position on the aisle you are. Basis if you're a black victimhood or you're not a black victimhood. That's going to affect your initial agreement or reaction to what I just said. But I digress. Let's get back into the video.
You know, those are important aspects. Steve Nash won MVP twice, and apparently it's outrageous because he wasn't the top scorer in the league. The prevailing thought is that Shaquille O'Neal deserved it instead of him. But Steve Nash, in those seasons, led his team to incredible regular season performances, even making runs in the playoffs. But what made Steve Nash such an incredible player was his efficiency. Sure, maybe he didn't have the same stat lines as Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal and other players, even I think LeBron James in the 05-06 season. Steve Nash will go into the history books as one of the most efficient players to ever play the game in terms of shooting efficiency and efficiency in terms of playmaking, leading the league in assists while maintaining low turnovers per game. And now the next two individuals, Nikola Jokic and Dirk Nowitzki, I mean, for me, that's not even a conversation. We'll probably get into that a little bit later. Steve Nash is probably the only one that could be really debated. Did he really deserve it? I mean, at the time that he won MVP twice, he was going up against Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant in their prime. But to reduce the whole thing to Steve Nash won because he's white favoritism is ridiculous. The conversation...
He might have had an argument if Steve Nash came from a team bottom of the league, stat padding maybe, right? And he won the MVP, he might have had an argument because you'd be like, oh, I don't see no reason. There's like 40 players better than this guy. How come you get me? But this guy was steering the best offense at the time when he was winning MVP, the Suns. What, bruh? How you gonna argue with that? I think didn't he have one of the MVP seasons? The Suns had the best record in the league. Usually that's a good signifier that you valuable to your team. Because I don't think that offense worked without Steve Nash. And like Liberal Hive Mind pointed out, Steve Nash was pretty efficient. But yeah, I'm going to leave it off at there. I just wanted to kind of give some commentary there. My initial thoughts is like, I think people need to stop trying to look for reasons to be mad about something, right? To bring out it seems like nowadays people are looking for confirmation bias. They're trying to confirm their biases. I think America is a racist country, so I'm going to find every disparity that I find that is negatively affecting black people as racist, but I won't call out I don't have the same energy when someone calls out something positive, a positive disproportionate outcome for black people.
Bruh.
I'm gonna call out, oh, black people are in the crime, black people are in jail more than their population size. That should tell you something, right? Trying to imply something. And then if I go, well, look at the NBA, are the black players in the NBA because they're black or because that's what they chose to go down as a path for their profession? Same thing with the criminals. Are the criminals just got arrested because they're black?
Nope.
No, they did something wrong to end up there. You break the law, you go to jail. Simple logic, right? But I don't know. It's just like people are just looking to be mad about stuff. And I'm kind of getting tired of it, especially when you don't got no definitive proof of it. All this is just speculation. And I think recently, I think it was yesterday, First Take had to issue an apology because they realized that the panel was more diverse than what Kendrick Perkins claimed.
Bruh.
Hey, those are the facts. And that's what I'm saying. You making assumptions, you make an A out of yourself, right? But hey, I digress. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I really do appreciate you guys for watching to the end of the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.